welcome to the Plaid X2 channel. My name is John. On this channel, we talk all things physical media, some movies, music, and books. If you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe down below for more of that kind of content. Well, friends, this is episode number 12 of the 5. And we are trucking in this series. We have a bunch more episodes planned, so the series isn't going away. And I'm really looking forward, not just to this conversation, but all the future conversations we've got scheduled that's coming on the way. So anyway, friends, again, this is episode number 12, and this is with Alex Thomas. If you've never checked out his channel, in the description below will be links to his YouTube channel and also his Instagram account as well. And go check out his content. He puts out a ton of great content. And I do want to say, I mentioned it in the video itself, but he just passed 4,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So congratulations again, Alex. So friends, if you are new to this series, in this series, I ask fellow YouTubers, movie collectors, 5 questions, and they respond with 5 films per question. And I enjoy it because we get to talk movies and get a bunch of film recommendations. So anyway, friends, this is again episode number 12. It is with Alex Thomas. Check out his channel, check out his Instagram account. And anyway, friends, we had a good conversation. Here we go.
Yeah, I love telling the story. So my uncle was supposed to take me to go see Small Soldiers. He's supposed to go take me to see Small Soldiers. And he thought it was a great idea to take me and my twin brother, he took us to go see Halloween H2O.
How old were you?
I was 5 years old.
Holy cow.
It's probably not a good impact. It's kind of a bad one. It's Jaws. It made me not want to go into the water. It made me scared of sharks. Yeah. Yeah, check me on Instagram Live. I'll be at work.
Well, thank you everybody for checking out another episode of The 5. This time I got Alex Thomas with me. And I want to say I know I'm one of the first to say congratulations for hitting 4,000.
Thank you so much, man.
Literally minutes ago, Alex's channel hit 4,000.
Literally minutes.
So by the time you folks you're watching this, it'll be days later, but right now in real time, minutes ago, hit 4,000. So congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a really good year. I tell everybody, 2021 was a good year. I got engaged. My channel grew. Like, I feel like I'm progressing with my life. Like, so I'm 2021 was not terrible. 2020, that can get out of here. 2021, yeah, it was a good year. It was a good year for sure.
Yeah, congratulations getting engaged as well. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was time to do it. It was time.
So you've been on YouTube for how many years?
Since 2014. So I think 6-7 years almost.
So you just hit 4,000. What advice would you give someone who is first year in, still growing the channel, maybe only a dozen subscribers, maybe 100 subscribers? What's like the first thing you'd say? Do this.
Yeah, I would say, for one, this probably most people say, stay consistent. And also, a lot of people, I know people say this, but make the content you would watch. Like, make the content you go to YouTube for, because you never know, it might be somebody out there just like you looking for that content. So for me, like I said, when I first started, I was doing video games. I enjoy video games, but for me, I got burned out doing it because it was a consistent thing with playing the game, stopping playing, editing, put it out. And then like, I would never like play a whole game through and record all the footage. I would just play one part, stop, edit, record, do all this extra stuff. And it just got to a point where it would take me a long time to finish playing games, but I would never do that. I would just literally play a game, beat it, and that's it. Yeah. So one thing I would say is make the content you want to make, and also stay consistent, and also communicate with your subscribers. Like, subscribers appreciate that when you comment back on their comments and stuff, because they feel like they're really with you on this journey, with you growing your channel. So those are the 2 main things I would say: stay consistent and make the content you want to do. Like, because at the end of the day, it's called YouTube. It's your channel,
Yeah, I would say I found when I first started, so I'm only in I haven't been doing as long as you. I'm only in like a year and a half. But in that first, probably 9 months, to even a year, I felt like I got a little burned out doing videos that I thought would get views instead of doing just videos that I enjoy doing. Yeah. So there's a couple of videos that I've done that have almost no views, but I love doing those ones. And I'm fine with it. And then there's other ones where I know will get views, but I think you're right. Like, if you do stuff that you like, the whole experience is completely different.
Yeah. Also, like, if you think about the views too much, that will get you burned out. Cause then you're like, okay, this video not hitting. I need to make another video to figure out if that's going to hit. It's like, no, sometimes not even about the views. Like sometimes I'll go back and watch my own videos. Like a lot of people think that's weird, but like I go back to watch my own videos to see if it really works for me. Like, do I really look like I enjoy doing it? Not even to see if it's a video that's going to grow my channel, just see if like, is this what I really want to do? And so far I've been liking what I've been doing. So I would just say like, keep doing what you're doing because you're not doing anything wrong, you know, at the end of the day. That's the one thing I tell people. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just making content for your, you know, for your channel.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man. Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is it's not on your YouTube channel, it's your Instagram account.
Yeah.
And I told you this, I mentioned it, I think in one of your last lives, you do these Instagram lives at work.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like extraordinary about them, but I genuinely find them fascinating. And one of the things I find insane is, I think I was watching I think you did one on New Year's Eve day.
Mm-hmm.
And the busyness at your work was insane. And at the same time, you are flying doing that and responding to every single comment at the exact same time. Yeah. And I just found it hilarious.
Yeah. Someone said when I did that, said like, your multitasking is crazy. I'm like, when you've been doing a job so long, sometimes it's like knowing the back of your hand. And most of the customers, I'm not trying to bash any of my customers if they are watching this. I know half of what they're buying, what they're getting. So at the end of the day, I'm already grabbing it as they're coming up. Like, or I'll just say like, you want that? And then I'll just take care of it. But I think that's just the beauty of me just knowing the job and also trying to engage in the live stream. I just don't want to neglect the comments. Also, I just love doing live streams. I tell everybody, say, try to get into the live stream game because you might do better actually doing live streams than making videos. Because at the end of the day, it's just you straight out. You might mess up sometimes, but that's the point. I mean, it's more engaging with the audience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I legitimately am laughing sometimes when I'm doing it because you're responding to people. And I'm wondering, like, does that customer think he's talking to them?
Yeah. I'll have to tell them, like, I'm on the phone. Obviously, I'm on Instagram Live. I'm like, I'm on the phone. But I have my AirPods in. So they see, he got his AirPods in. Gotcha. So that's what they, obviously think I'm talking to somebody on the phone. So it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious at the end of the day.
I think it's a great idea. And I actually think it's a unique idea. Like when it's on, I'll always come in to watch for a few minutes because it's a unique idea. It's not like any other Instagram live I've seen before. So it's a unique idea, man. So anyway, it's good. I like it.
Nice. Thank you.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for doing the 5 with me. So how this works, for those of you who might be watching for the first time, is I connect with YouTubers who I enjoy their channels, watch their stuff. And I will ask 5 questions and the YouTuber responds with 5 films per question. And the point is to talk movies, obviously, to get 25 film recommendations, and then to learn more about these YouTubers who I enjoy watching their content. So I always have pen and paper to write down titles because I'm sure you're going to mention titles I don't have in my collection. And that's what the beauty of it. I've just like every person who's been on, I walked away with a list of films. So So yeah, man. So I'm enjoying it. So anyway, here's the very first question. What 5 films have you most recently seen?
Recently, well, like I said, I just logged them on Letterboxd too. So I just bought Halloween Kills and Dune. I literally just watched them today. So I had to see how the transfers look, and I wanted to see the extended cut of Halloween Kills.
Okay.
So I watched those 2. I just watched Malignant for the first time.
Okay.
And that movie, if you guys have not seen Malignant, watch it. And go into it think you're going to get a typical James Wan film. No, you're not getting a James Wan film. You're getting something totally different than you expect. This is not The Conjuring. This is not Insidious. This is something else. And then I watched Candyman because I was waiting to put that on the list. And what else? I watched something else. Oh, I just watched The Karate Kid. I just watched The Karate Kid because I just bought the box set. It's probably, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's over there. I want to watch Cobra Kai because everyone tells me you need to watch Cobra Kai. You need to watch Cobra Kai. And I'm like, okay, first I want to watch the first 3 movies first. Yeah. Then I'll get into it because then I'll get into the feel of the franchise. So I just watched that and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Karate Kid. I forgot how much I loved that first Karate Kid movie. It was really enjoyable.
I rewatched that one maybe a year ago for the first time in decades. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I had a smile on my face the entire time. I was like, this is so good.
It's so 80s. It's so
amazingly
80s. Like the way it's the way it's structured, I'm like, this is such an 80s movie, bro. It's such an 80s movie. You could not make this today, because most people today would probably say it's boring, because not a lot of stuff happens in like the first couple acts until he first meets Mr. Miyagi. And even like the Mr. Miyagi stuff where he's painting the wall, nothing is happening besides him painting a wall. No. Like it's crazy. It's hilarious though. I love it though.
I have, for me in my collection, I have a massive, like, it's just a black hole when it comes to 80s stuff. Like, I have nothing. There's nothing there. So I was at Goodwill the other day, and someone, I think, dropped off like an entire 80s collection of Blu-rays. So I ended up picking up like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I'd never seen before. And
really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it. So I watched it 2 nights ago and I loved it. So that's 80s stuff. 80s. Yeah.
Straight
oh
80s.
Man, it's so good.
80s. It's so 80s. And it's crazy. Like I'm only 29. I was born in 1993, so that's way past my time.
Right.
But my parents grew up in that era, so they introduced me to all these movies. Like, obviously, you guys know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, my name is Marty McFly. Back to the Future was my ish. Like, I Back to the Future is my life. It got me into movies. It made me really think about how the creative mind thinks. Like, I think someone had to come up with the concept of the movie Back to the Future and make this into a movie. And that fascinated me so much as a kid that it made me love movies. That, and well, we'll talk about it too. It wasn't 5, but 80s, man. Like, I love the 80s era. To me, I wish I would have grew up in the 80s. I tell you, I wish I was born in the wrong era. I say that all the time. I wish I was born 10 years earlier. I wish I was. Yes. See,
for me, I'm older than you. I grew up the back end of the 78. So I went through all the 80s and 90s, but for me, middle school started 1990. I graduated college 2000. So the 90s for me are like the greatest decade. Yeah. But like, if I get to live in a decade other than the one I lived in, I would like 30s and 40s.
Really?
Like, I love that. James Stewart. I love all the Humphrey Bogart, Chaplin. I love those films, but for film wise, but 80s stuff I'm getting into, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I'm obviously like decades late to the game on that, but it's amazing.
Oh, trust me, I know there's a lot of people that hasn't seen it. I'm sure, like, I don't know if Jared Runner's watching, but I'm sure probably hasn't seen it. Jared Runner has seen a lot of stuff.
All right. Now, for you, how do you rank the Back to the Future? I just actually saw through those 6 months ago. I watched through those for the first time.
Wow. So that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So
that's crazy. So it's ranked how they're released. Best to worst, 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. The first one is to me, it's a perfect film.
I think so too.
It's paced so well. The script is so tight, and so, like, the comedic beats is right. The timing is so perfect. And the acting is stellar. I think everyone is perfectly cast. Like, you can go back and watch, if you know the controversy of Eric Stoltz was supposed to be Marty McFly. They wanted Michael J. Fox, but he was doing Family Ties, and they didn't know how the scheduling to do it. They had Eric Stoltz on for a certain amount of time. They said it wasn't working, so they had to get Michael J. Fox in. So Michael J. Fox had to literally film Family Ties and Back to the Future at the same time. Like, he was literally filming Family Ties, and at night he would shoot Back to the Future. A lot of people, well, if you're a Back to the Future fan, you know, but a lot of people just don't know. He was filming both of those at the same time. He was only getting like 2 hours worth of sleep. But insane. I mean, that's the commitment, man. He wanted to do it. He wanted to do Back to the Future, but he didn't think he could do the scheduling, but he did it. And it was the perfect casting. I think Marty McFly is the coolest character, in my opinion, next to Luke Skywalker.
It's a legendary film series. Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's legendary. Even if you don't, I've obviously known about it my whole life, but even if you've never seen it, you know about Back to the Future.
Yes, exactly.
Crazy, man. Well, that's awesome. All right. So the last one, or the one question on the 5. The first question, Dune. I've never seen it. Sell me on that one. Why should you watch it?
It's I don't know. I don't think that movie's made for everybody. I would watch it, but don't go into it thinking you're about to get, like, it's not action packed. It's a very slow burn, but also it's going to be a part, like, it's going to be a multi-movie series. Like, this is part 1. So think about you're getting in, like, you're watching Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, because that's how it's built up like that, where you're getting to know this world, you're getting to know where these people are at, and it's the way it's shot. It's shot spectacular. The acting is on point. The soundtrack, the score is amazing. I love the score to this movie. And I just think that the cast of characters, the cast alone is top notch. I mean, it's a star-studded cast. But I would definitely check it out. For one, the visuals, it looks amazing. It looks amazing on 4K too. I don't know if you care about 4K or not, but it looks great on 4K. But I would give it a chance. I would definitely give it a chance. Just go in with an open mind.
All right, cool, man. All right. So question number 2, what 5 films do you have your earliest memories from?
Well, 1, Back to the Future. 2, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That Harry Potter in general, that whole film franchise, that's probably, I hate when people ask me like Back to the Future or Harry Potter. They always try to compare like which one is better. I'm like, I love both. I don't like comparing. I love them both equally. Of course, Back to the Future is my baby, but Harry Potter was the one that's like my Star Wars. I literally grew up with that franchise. So Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, Back to the Future. It's going to be weird to say this, but Halloween H2O.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love telling the story. So my uncle was supposed to take me to go see Small Soldiers. He's supposed to go take me to see Small Soldiers. And he thought it was a great idea to take 2, because me and my twin brother, he took us to go see Halloween H2O.
How old were you?
I was 5 years old.
Holy cow.
I was 5 years old. So that's where I got introduced into horror. But I thank him on that too, because it made me fall in love with horror movies. That and Scream. I watched those at very young ages. It was weird. Like, I don't know why I watched Scream. I had to be like 5 or 6 years old. Yeah. And it got me into horror though. So to me, I thank him, but I like, why would you do that to me? You haunted me for like years. And then another one would be Terminator 2. Terminator 2, I remember the first time I saw it, it wasn't even at a good quality. I think I was watching it in a hospital. My grandma was in a hospital. I was watching on TV. I see Arnold Schwarzenegger. I knew who he was. And I'm like, what is this? And I just see him like in the hospital scene, and I seen the T-1000. Like, what is that? Like, I was just so fascinated with it. And I went home like, do I own this? Do I have this in my VHS collection? And I had it on VHS. I actually had the special edition to this set. And I watched it, and oh my God, I fell in love. Terminator 2, man. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna throw another one in. I'm gonna say Titanic, because Titanic was one that was constantly playing in my house. It's my grandma's favorite movie, so Titanic was another one that one of my earliest memories.
And that too was I remember when that came out, it was just a monster of a film. Like, it instantly became one of the biggest films of all time, and it still is. I know the Spider-Man No Way Home just
passed it. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. But that movie did that make $2 billion? Did Titanic didn't make $2 billion, did it?
I don't think it made $2 billion. No.
I think okay. So it's probably easy to pass, because I don't think it hit $2 billion.
No, but that was crazy. So for me, I have the opposite experience with horror. When I was a little kid, I was at a sleepover, and I was just a little kid, and they put on a Pet Sematary. And I was like, face was buried into my pillow like the entire time. Yeah. And so then I think for that reason, I grew up never watching horror, because as a kid, I was like, I can't do this stuff, man.
Yeah. It's weird, because I saw Pet Sematary 2 before I saw Pet Sematary 1.
Really?
So I seen the bad one first, but I actually enjoyed, and maybe it's because it was Edward Furlong, because he was in Terminator 2. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's got the kid from Terminator 2, so I'm gonna watch it. And that one's I guess it's not as scary as Pet Sematary 1 either. So it was more of a watch. But I still remember the first time I seen Pet Sematary 2. It haunted me too. Visually, it's terrifying, certain scenes. So yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah, man. I went from like Benji and Ernest movies to Pet Sematary, and that was too big of a jump.
Yeah, so. For sure. For sure.
Well, cool, man. Next question is, what 5 films have had the greatest impact on you? Like your worldview, it could be emotionally, it could be like life perspective, any of those kind of things. Just biggest impact on you. Okay.
Well, I know I'm gonna keep saying Back to the Future, but Back to the Future was that one. It made me fall in love with movies. It made me love film. It made me love the aspect of movie making, was that one. And then 2, it's probably not a good impact. It's kind of a bad one. Is Jaws. It made me not want to go into the water. It made me scared of sharks. It made me not go into water. I also had a bad experience with water, but so that's another one that was not a good impact. But I always think about Jaws. I still can watch it. A lot of people ask, "Can you still watch it?" I'm like, yeah, I can still watch Jaws, and any type of movie that deals with water, I can still watch it. But another one would be. I should have just wrote this down. I tried to think. I know I knew these on top of my head. Now doing this, I can't even think about it on top of my head. But for life's perspective, Oh man, I had one on top of my head. Um, Menace to Society.
Oh
And I
yeah.
know that's weird. And I think the reason why is because at that time I lived in a bad neighborhood when
Okay.
I first saw that movie. And to see how Black men dealt with living in the hood, because I was little when I saw it still. So I didn't really notice I knew it was a bad area, but I didn't experience it. But just to see it displayed the way that movie displayed it, all the stuff that they had to go through, like when it comes to police brutality and stuff like that. A lot of people sleep on that movie. That movie touches on a lot of stuff. It's kind
Yep.
of like it's not as glorified, but you see it in that movie, and that really touched me. It still touched me today. I love Menace to Society.
I remember
Another,
seeing that film because I grew up in Eastern Canada, and it's just incredibly different culture.
yeah,
And I remember seeing that film and that being an education for me of because the U.S. and Canada are just such different environments and different cultures. And I like vividly remember the first time I saw that film and just how powerful that film was. Yeah. And that just got a Criterion release too.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
And it's great. It's a great scan. If you didn't pick it up, I would highly recommend picking up. They have a Blu-ray version too if you don't want the 4K. So if you
is
want
it a lot
cheaper.
of special features on that one?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more special features than was on the Blu-ray.
Okay.
So and it comes with the it also comes with the director's cut too.
Oh,
I don't know if it comes with the theatrical version. I haven't seen the theatrical version in a minute because I'm so used to the director's cut. But it's a great release. I highly recommend buying that on Criterion. Another film that touched me dearly, it's Terminator 2, bro. Like Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. I'm putting both together because Terminator scared the hell out of me. It did. That's a horror film at the end of the day. Terminator is a horror film with some science fiction elements added to it because it's about a machine trying to go out and kill somebody any way possible. That's their one thing is to go out and kill. And then Terminator 2 kind of flipped it and made him the good guy. I'm like, oh, like you can kind of do this with a character. You can bring him back and kind of flip it and make him the good guy. Like it kind of like for me, it kind of touched me a little bit. I'm like, oh, you can do that. Like, and it makes sense because he's a robot. He's just coming off an assembly line and added with a new chip. So you could, that James Cameron, I wish he had more movies. That's the one I love looking at his filmography, but he doesn't have enough films, even though he is one of the greatest. I know he loves his technology and trying to make things better for filmmaking, but I kind of feel like it took a back burner on him making more movies.
Sure.
It just kind of breaks my heart that he's so like, I know Avatar was a big hit, but it just makes me upset that he's staying in that world when I know he got other ideas that he can do. Instead, he just want to do this one thing. It's just, it's sad on the low. Like it's sad.
Yeah.
So
it'd be amazing to see what else he would have put out there or created if he had spent time creating.
Yeah, for sure. So I know I did a bunch of those together. I'm probably I know I'm doing more than 5, but I love talking about these topics. Another one would be Star Wars, the Star Wars franchise, because I know the hero tale has always been told in other elements, but I think Star Wars touched me so much because I remember being a kid and being like, I lived in Cleveland all of my life. And I know how it feels to be like, there's a bigger world out there, but I'm like stuck in this place. And that's what Luke was feeling. And then he gets set onto this journey to, to do these great things. And that's what life is about. Life is about taking risk and taking the leap of faith to do something. And may it's good or bad. And it, to me, is like, I always tell people, watch Star Wars, yo. If you guys have not seen Star Wars, watch it. Even if it's not your thing. I just think sometimes just you get all these different characters, and that's what life is. All of us are all different people. We all have different scenarios and different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we're all people and we're all living beings living this life. And I don't know, it touched me anyway. I know I kind of went too deep, but that's how I look at Star Wars. Like I love Star Wars too. Like I love all these franchises. People always say Star Wars better than Harry Potter. Like no, to me, I love all of them. Stop comparing. Just love everything.
Yeah, appreciate them for what they are, the times they come out.
Yeah.
So growing up in Cleveland, are you a sports fan?
Yeah. Oh, I love my Cavs, obviously. I love the Cavs.
You love the Cavs? All right.
Yeah. They're doing okay. Even though it's like I don't even have cable. I just watch the highlights. I guess I guess I'm not a fan, but I don't have cable, so I can't really watch the games.
Yeah, me either.
So I still watch their highlights, and I'm like, man, I just wish we were just a little bit. We're missing one piece. We're missing one piece, man. That's what we're missing. But yeah, I'm not a Browns fan though. That's weird. I'm not a football fan at all. I'll watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch games if I'm watching with somebody, but I'm not a football guy. I'm more of a basketball guy. And same with baseball. I'm not an Indians. I'm not a baseball guy, so I didn't watch the Indians.
Okay. So you just got Rondo, didn't you?
Yeah. And everyone's so fascinated with getting Rondo, but I think at this point, it's like I think you just need to retire Rondo. Like you're a great point guard.
Yeah.
And when you go playoff Rondo, you're great. But I just think that it's a little too late. I'm not going to get on the hype train. Well, we got Rondo. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get in the hype train. You can't shoot, Rondo. I'm sorry. Like, you can't shoot, bro.
I'm a longtime Celtics fan. And he was killer for the Celtics.
So y'all had Rondo when he was good. Like,
we had him good.
He was a dog. He beat my Cavs. They destroyed my Cavs.
And then he was, I think when he was with like Sacramento, I mean, he quit mid-game in Dallas, but in Sacramento, you'd see flashes of old Rondo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, he's wrapping it up. He's got it.
But then when he went to the Lakers, though, like when the playoffs started, he was there. He showed up, and I think he was like the third best player, like on certain aspects. So he was pretty good during those playoffs when on the Lakers. So I just think it's time for him to hang it up. He's probably gonna play for like another couple of years, but I think now it's time for him to hang it up. Just go ahead, Rondo. It's okay. You won your championships, bro. Like you got two. You got championships, man. Okay.
Now is Kevin Love retire a Cav?
At this point, yeah. I just think that I don't see him going nowhere else. Where would he go? He's not going to go to the Lakers. No. That's what everyone says. He's going to be a Laker. No, he's not going to go to the Lakers because they're not going to pay him like Cleveland's going to pay him.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to retire as a Cav because we love him here. Regardless of all this, he hasn't really played. He's been injured. But I think we love him. For once, that championship, he did contribute to that championship. So he automatically got love for me. Like if I see him on the street, I'm giving a big hug. Like, bro, you won a championship for my city. So I wouldn't be upset if he retired as a Cav. I wouldn't be mad at all.
Yeah.
He retired champion.
Nice, man. I remember back in the day, because I'm a bit older, when Jordan dropped that shot over, you got Mark Price and Craig Elo and Brad Daugherty, all those guys.
I still watch. I don't know if you see, I got the Last Dance documentary. I still go back and watch that, and that's probably one of my favorite documentaries ever.
That's cool.
I go back and still watch it because I just find it so fascinating, especially when they talk about the Cleveland series. They talk about Cleveland was a good team. Like, damn, I wish I can go back and see those teams. Because my dad, he grew up in that. You know, he grew up watching. He was a Jordan fan, but he grew. It's weird that my dad grew up as a Knicks fan, but he's from Cleveland.
Really?
So like all the time when Jordan would play the Knicks, he loved Jordan. He loved the Bulls, but he hated when they played the Knicks. It's so weird. So like when they was playing the playoffs in like 93, he didn't know who to go for. He's like, okay, I love Jordan, but he gonna beat my Knicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
those are good. Yeah, I love 90s basketball. It was my favorite decade of basketball, but
I still go back and watch. Like you can go on YouTube and watch the game. Even though the quality isn't bad, I still go back and watch those games because I'm sorry to say, they're way more fascinating than this era. Even I think the era between 2010 to I think for me, 2016 when the Cavs won, I kind of checked out. I kind of did check out of basketball because at this point we know Durant went to the Warriors. Okay, now it's like, is it fun anymore to watch this? No, it wasn't fun anymore.
No,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Even when the Heat joined together, it was still fun to watch basketball. Like,
sure.
Even though my Cavs weren't good because LeBron left, but it was still good to see all these other teams come up. Because we still had the Celtics, even though, at that point they were about to be done.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Basketball is a funny thing.
It's good, man.
90s better. 90s is better.
All right, man. Question number 4. What 5 films do you consider to be underrated films?
Okay, top 5 underrated. So I'm gonna put this as I'm gonna just talk about a trilogy. Because I feel like if I talk about one, I gotta talk about all 3. The Hotel Transylvania movies.
Oh yeah.
I feel like people really don't talk about those as decent animated movies, and I think they're really good. They're great to watch around Halloween time.
Yeah.
They obviously deal with the monsters. But they're Adam Sandler's good in it. He's good as Dracula. Like, I've been kind of checked out of Adam Sandler for a while, but I remember watching these. I'm like, these ain't half bad. They're really good. Like, I find myself popping them on during Halloween time. Like, I think probably next Halloween I might review them on my channel. Like, just thinking about that, I might talk about those movies. I feel like no one really talks about them, even though I think we're getting a new one, but it's going straight to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it is.
So I guess I'll probably bunch that as a trilogy as one.
And it's a good story. Like the father-daughter relationship is a good story.
Yeah. Even the second one, like when the human is with the girl and they have a baby, like that's hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. And he's trying to figure out if he's gonna be a monster or not. It's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. But another one I'll probably say is it's a Michael J. Fox film that I feel like no one really talks about, and it's called Life with Mikey. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
No.
It's called Life with Mikey. It has Michael J. Fox and Nathan Lane. They're both, Michael J. Fox was a kid actor. He stopped being a kid actor and he became a kid talent agent. And he's a no life. He's a low life for real. He lives terribly. He can't do his job right. Like, he can't even get to work. And he finds this girl on the street and finds out she's actually pretty good at acting. And actually she shoplifts him at first and takes his wallet. He kind of steals his wallet at first, and then he sees her and she gives like this good performance, and he was like, man, I can actually use her like to try to, the better of my company, because he has a talent agency that's not doing that good. So I would definitely check that out. It's a nice little comedy. It's on Disney Plus. So if you don't have to buy it, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, it was a Touchstone movie, so Disney owns that. So it's on there. So I would definitely check that out.
80s, 90s?
It's early 90s. It came out in 93.
Okay.
So maybe that's probably why I like it. It came out my birthday year. But I love Michael J. Fox too. So that's why I had to watch it. Another Michael J. Fox film I feel like no one talks about it's called The Hard Way. You ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, it's got him and James Wood. Michael J. Fox is again, he plays an actor. He loves playing actors. That's funny. He's an actor that's trying to get a role as a cop. He finds James Wood. Like he sees him on TV. He's like, that's my character. I need to go be with him for a week. And James Wood is going through this matter, like this crazy murder investigation with this guy called the Party Crasher. And Michael J. Fox is on the ride with him throughout this whole time as he's trying to catch this killer. It's crazy. It's like a buddy cop film.
Okay.
It's hilarious. I would definitely check that out. I think that's on HBO Max.
Okay. So you're like a legit Michael J. Fox fan.
Yeah, I love Michael J. Fox. Okay. I need to get more into his catalog when it comes to his other stuff that I haven't heard of. There's some stuff that I've seen that I've heard of that he's in that I have not seen.
Okay.
I've seen his big stuff like Teen Wolf, the Back to the Future, obviously Doc Hollywood. I've seen For Love for Money. I've seen Frighteners. I've seen all this big stuff, but I need to go into his catalog more and watch some of his stuff, because Michael J. Fox, I kind of wish I'm so upset he got hit with Parkinson's, man, because I feel like he kind of went out too soon. I feel like he still can act, but he just has this condition that he can't really do it. And it's hard. It heartbreaks me all the time. When he passed away, I'm gonna cry. I know I am.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll cry when he passed away. Another movie I say that's underrated is The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
I love The Good Son. I love that movie. I don't care nobody say it is cheesy as all hell, but I love it. Hearing Macaulay Culkin says, like, don't F with me, I lost my mind. Because at that time I saw him as the Home Alone kid. I'm like, dang, he's saying the F word? Like, oh my goodness. He's over here killing dogs. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I seen that when I was like 10 years old. So like, yeah. I love The Good Son. Elijah Wood, he's pretty good in the movie too. He's running and screaming the whole time, but he's pretty good in the movie. I definitely would check out The Good Son. I don't think that's streaming anywhere. It has a Kino release on
That's
Blu-ray.
what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a Kino release. I bought it immediately when I heard it was coming out. I immediately bought that movie.
Nice.
So have I said 5 yet? I think that I got one more. One more I would say I'm gonna throw comedy in there, and it's called a movie called Accepted with Justin Long, Columbus Short. It's got Jonah Hill. It's got Blake Lively. To me, that's an underrated comedy no one really talks about. If people don't know, it's about Justin Long. He can't get into college, so he literally starts his own college so he can impress his parents. And a whole bunch of shenanigans happens when everyone else a lot of people get accepted into the college because they couldn't get into college. And it's a great comedy. I love Accepted. I would highly recommend watching that too.
I remember seeing that when it came out, and it is so ridiculous, and it almost feels as ridiculous as an '80s film. Like
Yeah,
like this is
yes,
so
yes,
over the top,
yes,
but
yes.
it's a good feel good film because it's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I love the ending because like the ending he's going to, it's funny, the movie takes place in Ohio.
Oh,
The
really?
movie takes place in Ohio. Yeah, it takes place in Ohio. And he goes to the Ohio school board. It's not real. It's not. It's I think it's they just use Ohio. They don't even say what city they're in. They just say they're in Ohio. So he goes there, and I love the ending because he literally states his case of why he should have this college. And you really feel like, man, he really believes in this. And Justin Long sells it. He's really good in the movie. I think he's really good in it.
That's awesome, man. No, I haven't thought of that one in a long time.
Yeah, it just got a Blu-ray release last year, and I
Oh,
found
really?
out I immediately bought it because I had my DVD for the longest, and I was ready to upgrade it, and it finally got a Blu-ray release. Yeah,
Man, I love it when there's a film that you've been just holding on to that DVD forever, and they finally
yeah.
announce it's getting
I,
out.
I had a couple. I had Hardball
Oh
with
yeah,
Keanu
that's
Reeves,
right.
which is another underrated movie that no one
Yep.
really talks about. Hardball was finally got a Blu-ray. The Longest Yard finally got a Blu-ray with Adam Sandler. And then Small Soldiers. That one has never had a U.S. release. It always had a foreign release, but it's not region. It's not region A. It's not region free.
Oh, okay.
So I always wanted to buy it, but I could never watch it. So I was waiting for Paramount finally released it. Like they just released it. I love that Paramount is doing this. They're the
Yeah.
one studio that like releasing these low titles that hasn't got Blu-ray releases, and they're just putting them out and not even charging that much. I think the highest these movies have been, I think Christmas or the Cranks, I think was Paramount. I think they priced that a little too high. I think that was like $25. That should not have been $25. But they've been like cheap, like $12, $15. That's not bad for a Blu-ray,
No.
especially for one that hasn't been out on Blu-ray.
The top of my list is Green Street Hooligans. Have you seen that film?
No.
Charlie Hunnam and Elijah Wood are in it.
Okay.
It's a film I never hear anyone talk about, and it's so good, man. I rented it from Blockbuster back in the day when there was Blockbuster, and the next day I was in FYE buying it. Like it's
Okay.
so good,
Okay.
and that's one that I'm waiting. It has a German Blu-ray release, and that's it.
Mhm.
So one of these days,
And it's
that's
not
what holds
region
for.
free, is it? It's not region free,
No,
is it?
no.
Yeah. See, it makes me want to buy a region free player. It makes me want to buy one so bad.
Yeah,
Because there's releases that we don't have that we can get from overseas, but we can't watch it on our players. It's crazy.
yeah. So my fingers are crossed. One day I'll
Yeah,
get it.
for sure.
All right, man. Last question. 5 films that bring you the most joy, hope, laughter. They put a smile on your face.
All right. So I'm not going to mention Back to the Future in this list because that would be in the list. I'm not going to mention it this time. So one would be The Sandlot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sandlot. That's a summer movie, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's a summer movie. Every time it hits near 4th of July, I gotta watch The Sandlot. I have to. I love that movie, man. That's straight childhood right there. Another one would be E.T.
Yeah,
E.T.
classic.
always brings a smile on my face. The ending, the John Williams was in that room killing it with that score. Oh, it gives me goosebumps every time I watch that ending. And I always have a smile on my face. I'd be about to have tears of joy every time I watch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that brings me great feeling, the Santa Claus. The Santa Claus always has a smile on my face every time I watch it. It's my go-to every time, every Christmas, every time. Yeah, the Santa Claus and the Grinch, the Jim Carrey one. Those are my 2 top right there to go for. So that's what, 3. Another one would be Toy Story. Toy Story was one that always had a smile on my face. It brings me laughter and joy. Woody, Tim Allen and Tom Hanks have terrific chemistry. Who would have thought that they would have terrific chemistry?
Yeah.
But they do. They're great in the movie. I still remember the first time I saw that. Yeah,
they're perfect pairing. Perfect pair.
Yeah. I would love them to host. They need to host the Oscars. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious if they host the Oscars. Both of them together. Yeah, I would love that. Another one would be, I don't want to just talk about Disney, but it's Disney. It's Disney. Like Beauty and the Beast, man. Like
really,
I love Beauty and the Beast. I bought it 3 times. I bought the movie 3 times. I have the Blu-ray. I bought the 4K, and I had a Blu-ray before I bought the Blu-ray I had. I love Beauty and the Beast, man. It looks amazing. It looks great on 4K. I know people talk about don't buy animated on 4K, but the one I would recommend would be Beauty and the Beast for the ballroom scene alone. That scene looks great in 4K. The colors pop, and most of that is done with like CGI a little bit with the room, but it looks great. I know I keep talking about Disney because Disney is always the one that's popping into my head. It's Aladdin, man. Like Aladdin,
Oh yeah,
like big juggernauts, man. Lion King, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast, man. Those movies that I tried it. I wanted to have a moment where I'm having my niece and nephews and we're all sitting down watching these movies, but I know time just never allowed me to do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just they don't understand. They don't understand, man. Like that time watching those movies, man.
Yeah.
Because not everything is everything is 3D. Like I think I wish they would go back to 2D animation. I kind of wish they would do that because there's something with the beauty of being in 2D. Because 3D is cool, but I just miss that 2D animation, man.
Mm-hmm.
I miss it.
So what did you think of the remake of Aladdin since you liked Aladdin so much?
I enjoyed it. I did. I think it got a little more hate than I think it deserved. I love the angle they took with Jasmine. A lot of people didn't like that either because to me, don't make a remake and give me the same thing.
Sure.
Change it up. And that's exactly what they did. They changed it up. They gave Jasmine more of a stronger character. Will Smith was great as the genie, which everybody thought he was going to be terrible. Like those first trailers, like, oh no, he's not going to be good. I'm like, just give him hope, man. He's not going to be Robin Williams, but he's going to bring his own style to it. I love the Friend Like Me music number. I love that musical number. That was fire. And yeah, I loved it. Now, Beauty and the Beast, I think I like Lion King. I mean, Lion King. No, I do not like the Lion King remake. I like the Aladdin remake more than the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Okay.
That's weird though, because I think that one's literally a spot-on-spot remake. I don't think they changed anything from that movie besides giving Beast his own song. And I do not like that song that he sings either. I kind of just like it where he in the anime, he just roars and upset because she's leaving. Just give me that. I don't need a whole song about how he feels. I don't need that. But to me, it's like these live action remakes, like with the Lion King, like I think the reason why Lion King doesn't work because animals can't give emotion like how humans can.
Sure.
So like animated, you can give them emotion because they're 2D animations. With live action, you can't, unless you make them look like the animated characters in their faces, which probably wouldn't work. Even though I've seen people literally go back and add that in there. I've seen people do that, like try to put the animated versions on the live action faces, and it looks weird. But I think I would rather take that than what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I was very nervous when Will Smith, I heard he was the genie because Robin Williams is just, he's role is a legendary role.
He literally he created that character. Like most of his lines, he ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Like he was literally in the booth saying that, like, we got to leave this in because it just is so great. Like,
so he had huge shoes to fill. And I think he actually did do a pretty great job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the direction they took with him because the way the genie is in that film, obviously he falls in love in the live action one. The one in the animated doesn't. He just literally, he becomes free and he goes away. This one, he starts a whole family. Like, it's just, like I kind of like that. Like, kind of change it up. Don't give me the same stuff,
Yeah. Is Disney playing any other like reboots with live action?
I think we got Peter Pan coming.
Okay.
And I think we're getting Pinocchio. I think Tom Hanks is going to be Geppetto.
Yeah, that's right.
Tom Hanks is going to be Geppetto, which I'm very excited for. So I think he's actually is a good choice for Geppetto.
Tom Hanks rarely, swings and misses.
Yeah. You're right about that. I mean, even in things like Cloud Atlas, I think he's the best part of that movie.
That's true. Yeah. So that's cool, man. That's cool.
And for me, it's like I like the Jungle Book remake, but see, that was kind of different too. They gave me a different feel than the animated one. So if you're going to do these live action remakes, Disney, just change it up a little bit. Don't give me the exact same thing. Because if you're going to give me the exact same thing, I might as well watch the animated version because the animated version is going to be better.
Yeah. So it's true, man. It's crazy. And with Disney being such a huge brand, you have these passionate fans who are, no matter what they do, they're going to hear about it online. You know what I mean? But they've established such a huge legacy that it's tough to live up to that sometimes.
Yeah, and it to me it feels like they're running out of ideas, and the stuff that they bring out don't really get the recognition unless it has a name. anything Disney really does, even obviously they're all stuff like Star Wars or Marvel, it's gonna make money. But I think they like when the Lion King was announced, oh yeah, this is gonna make $1 billion. We knew it was gonna make $1 billion. We knew it. Like this is gonna make money, regardless of how the quality of the movie, because it's the Lion King.
Right.
So, and even Aladdin, I think Aladdin hit $1 billion too. Like it's Aladdin, of course, it's gonna make money.
Yeah, it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, so, yeah. You did it. You hit the 5.
Nice.
Knocked it out. I appreciate you sharing a bunch of titles with us and recommendations.
Yes, sir. It's crazy. I went throughout this whole list without talking about Lord of the Rings, and I'm very upset that I did not do that.
So where would you throw that? Going back, where would you put that one?
I would probably put it in like the first movies I experienced, because I watched that early as well. Okay. I watched it like when they first came out. I watched Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings around the same time. And to me, they both fascinated me in the same way. Like I remember the first time I watched Lord of the Rings, and when it ended, I'm like, well, where's the rest of the story? Like I was so ready to watch the other movies. And I would probably play that Lord of the Rings DVD over and over and over again. I destroyed that disc. Yeah, I did. I destroyed that disc. Yeah.
What's your favorite of the 3, the trilogy? Which is your favorite? I know it's tough to break them up, but
it's Return of the King. To me, Return of the King, if I was teaching a film class, I'm showing Return of the King, because to me, it demonstrates every single category of filmmaking: writing, acting, costumes, set design, visual effects. It knocks every single level out of the park. That's why it won every Academy Award. It won everything besides actor nods. It swept the Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. Mm-hmm. So, and same with direction. It shows that you can make and one person can make it too. That's the one people forgetting. Peter Jackson made that by himself. It wasn't like the Russo brothers where they had 2 of them and they had to do Endgame, Infinity War. One person did the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy.
It's nuts, man.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's just crazy that one guy did the Frighteners. He did the Frighteners and did Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it's, man, I'm trying to tell my best friend John, like he hasn't watched them yet. And I'm like, you need to watch these movies. And I think he said it's pretty slow, but then I introduced one of my other friends that never saw it. And he said he doesn't understand what he's talking about, because once you jump into the world, you're interested in these characters. You want to go on the journey with them, regardless to how slow the pacing is. The characters make it interesting, regardless if there's no action.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I knew nothing about them when they came out, and never read the books, never even heard of the books. And my father-in-law bought me the first one on DVD, and the second one was just released to theater at the time, it was released a few months later, and I just left that DVD on the shelf because I'm not into dragons and wizards and elves, not into that at all. Right. And one day I was just feeling bad. I was like, someday he's going to ask me what I thought of it, and I'm going to be a jerk and be like, I never even looked at it. So I threw it in, and you're exactly right. You learn the characters, you get into the world, and I could not wait to see the next film. And I bought them all on DVD, and then I bought them all on Blu-ray, and then I bought the extendeds, and then I bought the 4Ks.
Yeah.
I absolutely love them.
It's funny. I should have just kept my DVDs. I ended up giving away my DVDs. I had the Blu-rays. I have the extended. I got them all.
I see them right behind you.
Yeah. I got the Steelbook collection. I bought the standard 4K. And people ask, like, did you get the Middle Earth set? I'm like, no, I didn't need it, because I got all. I basically probably got everything in that Middle Earth set on separate releases.
Yeah, you do.
Not in one big set. And I don't need no more Lord of the Rings in my collection. The only thing I didn't buy was the Hobbit over. I got the Blu-rays and I got the 4Ks. For the Hobbit. I didn't buy the Steelbook collection because I didn't need to. Like, I got the 4Ks. I don't need the Steelbook collection.
Yeah.
To me, that'd be overkill, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, I like the Hobbit movies. I still need to finish Battle of the Five Armies. That's the one I still need to get through. But I think at that time I was kind of checked out. I'm like, this story didn't need to be 3 movies. It just did.
Not at all.
They just did it just because of the money. We understand, Warner Brothers. You guys want to make money.
It's a small children's book that they put over like 10 hours of film.
Yeah, it's because they wanted to connect it to Lord of the Rings. That's what it was. They wanted to have a nice companion piece, like the Star Wars prequel trilogy, to look like it's a nice little 6-movie arc throughout the entire story. And I understand, like I said, if it's going to get butts and seats, it made money. So, I mean, that's the one thing this thing about is show business first.
Yeah. No, man, you're right. Lord of the Rings is, for me, Rocky will always take my number 1 spot, but Lord of the Rings is like It is just, it's right behind it immediately. It's the greatest. Yeah.
I say, where's your Rocky 4K at, man? That's the one that's still holding out.
Yeah.
The whole franchise needs a 4K because the Creed movies got 4Ks. Where's the 4Ks?
Creed movies got 4Ks. All the Rambo movies got 4Ks.
Yeah.
They must be sitting on it and just waiting to release this massive set.
No, but didn't Amazon buy MGM though?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the Amazon bought MGM, so maybe we might not get physical releases. They might want to put it on Amazon Prime. And it kind of sucks.
It does.
That kind of sucks. Now I just thought about that, like, because MGM,
wow.
You might
they just released to theater Rocky 4. Yeah, because there was a recut, Stallone's recut, and I thought
Part 4.
I thought they must be releasing that on physical, but I've heard no news of that.
Yeah. If it does, that'll get a 4K. That would definitely get a 4K release if they do release it physical. Yeah. Did you see it? Did you see
No, I didn't get to go see it.
And
did you?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't know if it was playing in my theaters.
I don't think it was playing near me. So
okay, yeah, it must not have been playing near me because I've been to the theater a couple times. I don't remember seeing Rocky 4 displayed. It probably was like in a low, like a one. Because I got a theater in my area that plays like the indies. And I was surprised that actually theater was playing Spider-Man when it came out. So I'm like, oh, they really want that money because they playing Spider-Man. They don't never play none of the big budget stuff.
Wow.
But that theater near me mostly played. And I need to go in there one day. I pass it every day and I've never been inside of it. And I feel bad.
Sure.
I need to go in there and just support it because it's right down the street from me. It's literally like 5 minutes away.
Really?
I've never been in this theater. It's very upsetting. I'm back. It's okay. I'm so sorry. I just want to say I'll walk in there and be like, I'm so sorry, neglect.
Yeah. First apologize, then buy a ticket.
Yeah. Right.
Easy, man. Well, are you watching anything tonight?
I was thinking about watching Scream 3. So
okay.
I'm watching Scream. I'm going to see Scream 5. I already brought my tickets. So I'm thinking about probably watching Scream 3. And I don't think Scream 4 is not streaming nowhere, is it though?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. So now I might have to watch that tomorrow then. Because I was going to watch them back to back so I can get them out the way. And then I can start watching Karate Kid. But I guess I'm going to have to watch Scream 3 tonight. That was my plan, was to watch that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because I'm trying to binge all the movies. You know, I've seen them a lot of times. I still want to get in Scream mode to watch Scream 5. I'm excited for Scream 5. I know it's called Scream, but I'm calling it Scream 5 because it's the 5th movie in the franchise. What are your? I was about to ask you, what are your thoughts on these movies, like naming the movie the same as the original, or like saying it's a direct sequel but giving it the same name as the original? What are your thoughts on that, man? Because
I mean, initially I don't like it. I mean, call it 5. We all know it's 5, so call it 5. And I don't know if they're not calling it 5 because they don't want to be seen as, because after you get like, you know, when you start saying, oh, it's whatever 8, or you start going, it's going to be less quality. Right. So I don't know if they're doing it just because they don't want to be seen as just another one.
Yeah.
But no, I don't like it. Yeah, at all.
Because Candyman did it, and I didn't really like Candyman. I did watch. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought it was definitely a downgrade from the original.
Mm-hmm.
I love the original Candyman. And then the same with Halloween. I hated that Halloween called itself Halloween 2018. I hated that it called it Halloween. I'm like, it looks so dumb having both Halloween sitting on the shelf because it's connected to the original. So why call it Halloween? It's just I understand it's gonna get you in the seats, but we know it's got Michael Myers in it. Like we know Michael Myers is in this movie. Like call it something else, like Halloween Returns or something. Like don't call it Halloween. Like it's just and I know I got a feeling Nightmare is going to do the same thing. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street do this, where they're going to bring back Nancy, and it's going to take place after the first movie. All the other movies won't exist, and they're going to call it Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, no, like, I really hope they don't do that.
Well, I know in the Rocky series, there was 1, 2, they got Rocky, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have Rocky Balboa. It's like it's 6.
That's different though, because they the first one was just called Rocky.
The first one was,
the first one was just called Rocky. It's not like you're calling it Rocky.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's called Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you're differentiating it from the first one.
Yeah, so you're making it different. So it's this next installment. With Halloween, you don't know if it's the first one or it's the second one or it's the 8th one. Like, because I didn't like that
Yeah.
they stopped. They didn't acknowledge 2. Like, I wish Halloween
Okay.
2 existed. I kind of wished Halloween. I like the sibling thing. I like that they were siblings, but I guess they're trying to move away from that because, spoiler, if you guys haven't seen Halloween Kills, Michael Myers isn't going after Laurie. He's not. He just out here killing people because he's a murderer. Like, he's not just specifically going after her. And I don't know. Like, I like the sibling thing. I like that little
Sure.
rivalry because at the end of the day, like, why does Laurie care? At the point in time, just leave the town. Like, why are you still there? Just leave. And I don't know. I kind of wish that because it feels like the Laurie we get in 2018, it feels like she's gone through way more stuff when it comes to Michael Myers by the way she is in 2018. It feels like she's been through way more with this guy when no, you walked into a house and you've seen that he killed all your friends and then he came after you and all he did was choke you. That was it. All he did was choke her. That was it. He didn't harm her or nothing. Well, he stabbed her in the side. Now, he stabbed her with a knife on the side. I lied. Okay, he stabbed her on an arm, but after that, he just choked her, and that was it. It's not like he came after her like in the hospital in the second movie. Like, you saw him burning alive. You didn't see that, so like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting now. I'm just ranting. I did buy Halloween Kills. I did buy it, so I did enjoy it.
Now, isn't there going to be Halloween Ends or something like that?
So this is supposed to be the end. This is supposed to be in, but I don't think they're going to do it. They're not going to kill him because Michael went through hell in this movie. He got shot in the chest like 5 times, like in the first movie. He got shot a couple times, a knife through his back. Like, he's been beaten with bats and everything. As he just keep getting up, like he ain't got a scar on his body. So I just don't think they can I just don't think they can kill him, bro. They know it makes money.
Sure.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, they can make these movies for less than $10 million and then make $100 million in the box office, and they're set.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
People are going to go see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know I'm going to go see it, even though I know I'm tired of seeing it, but I know I'm going to go see it. Like, I love Michael Myers. Halloween is my favorite horror film. The 1978 is my favorite horror film of all time.
Really?
Yes, it's my favorite horror film. Even
I
though
just saw it this year for the first time on Halloween.
Yeah, I heard that people overhyped it for you. If people overhyped it for you,
yeah, because I was expecting to be terrified. And
you should have talked to me because it's my favorite movie. But I would have told you that it's not. To me, it's not that it's terrifying. It's that, to me, like, Michael Myers is a real person. Like, he's a real guy. He's not a mythical creature as much as, he's not a mythical being as much as they make him unkillable. At the end of the day, he's a human going out doing these things. That's why Scream is so scary, because at the end of the day, he's a real person.
Yeah.
And he's just stalking these people and he's killing these people. And it's not like it's a ghost. Or it's Freddy Krueger. Like, Freddy Krueger is a made up person. Michael Myers could be your neighbor.
Sure.
Like, so that's what terrified me using that as a kid. Because I at that point in time I was like Tommy at that time, like the boogeyman. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And so I would have told you it was a slow burn, but that last 20 minutes, that's where it really picks up.
Right.
So I know you probably didn't like it as much. I know you didn't like it as much.
Okay. Well, it made me laugh because I felt like I described it as kind of like a Where's Waldo, because every once in a while you see his head pop up behind a car or behind the bushes or something. And I was thinking this is going to be just a blood fest from minute one to the end.
No.
And so the whole time I was like, oh, he's kind of like the socially awkward guy who just keeps showing up, and they're like, oh, there he is again. And but no,
that's and at the end of the day, I think they explained that's what he is, though. He's just an awkward guy that he's the mind of a shark.
Sure.
And I could have told you, no, it wasn't gonna be a blood fest, because the movie was only budgeted for like $250,000.
Now, I will say, well, after watching it though, like, even though I'm not a horror guy, I didn't like find it super scary. I was like, it's clear why this is a legendary film, and why people, I know it's called Halloween, but just every aesthetic of that film, it's like, you have to watch this in the month of October.
Yes.
Like, it was perfectly filmed for the time, for the name, for everything, for what the content is.
Right.
And you can see, even if you didn't say I love the film, you could watch it and go, I appreciate that. Yeah. And it's obvious why everyone loves this,
Yes,
or why most people love the film. So
right. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
that's awesome.
Well, what do you have coming up on your channel? Anything you want to let people know about?
Yeah, well, so I'm putting out a review for Scream 5 Friday.
5.
Well, I'm putting out a review for Scream 5. I don't know when you're airing this, but I'm putting out a review for Scream. Then that the next following Sunday, I will be doing a live stream doing spoilers. I will be talking about spoilers for the movie because as I've been hearing on social media, it's pretty good. So I might want to talk about it on my show Nerd Talk, even though it's not really nerd culture, but it's a movie. So I want to talk about it. And then, typical Blu-ray hunting Tuesdays. I might have a video coming out about what I'm looking forward to physical media wise for 2022. That video might be coming up because it's interesting to talk about physical media in the stage that it's in now. Because a lot of people saying it's dying, but it's not dying, bro. Like they putting too much out on 4K. Like Juice just got a 4K. Like who would ever thought Juice would get a 4K?
Sure.
So like, I don't think it's dying. They just know that the market is where it's at. And they know people are buying it. That's why they're releasing all these titles. So that's all that's coming up. Typical stuff. Blu-ray updates, Blu-ray huntings, live streams, trailer reactions whenever trailers come out. So I got into that too.
I saw that.
Reaction. And they're hard to do because you got to watch out for the copyright claims. But for my videos, I don't really get that much for it. So it's not like I'm getting like thousands and thousands of views. Now, if I was, had a lot of subscribers, hundreds, thousands, maybe I wouldn't do them because copyright claims, that mean they're taking the money. You're not really getting that money.
Right.
So it's interesting. I'm not really a reaction guy, but when it's something I really want to see, I'll do a reaction for it.
Well, I had a good laugh watching you react to. So I grew up reading Spider-Man comics. Like that was my thing and love all the films. And when I heard this one was coming out, like I was like, I am not going to let anyone spoil this for me. I'll watch the trailers and that's about it. Yeah. But I did watch your trailer reaction to it. And I got a kick out of that one because it was like, for me, having all of these villains come back, the ones that I read about as a kid forever, and then you see in the films. And then I absolutely love that film. I only saw it like a week and a half ago. Okay. And absolutely loved it.
And you didn't get spoiled?
And no one spoiled it for me. I didn't listen to anything. I didn't read anything.
Great.
And thankfully, most people who I watch on YouTube will say, hey, this is a spoiler review.
Right.
So at one review I'd read, or I saw a non-spoiler review, said it's everything you're hoping for. And then it's also a bunch of things you didn't know you should be hoping for.
Right.
And I was like, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. That's a great review. Because that's exactly what I expected. And it's funny because like, I'm not going to spoil it, but when things happen the way they happen, I didn't think they were going to happen because by the time we get close to the third act, I'm like, maybe they're not going to do it.
I agree.
Like maybe they're not going to do it, but when they do it, it's like, yeah, this is very satisfying. Very satisfying.
You mentioned watching certain films and you just had a smile on your face the whole time. That was a film I was smiling through pretty much start to finish.
Yeah. I had the same feeling I felt when I watched The Avengers for the first time. Like I had a smile on my face throughout the entire time watching The Avengers. And that's one of my favorite theater experiences of all time, watching the first Avengers opening night, 12 o'clock midnight. Before they did 7 o'clock showings. That's when they did midnight showings. I was there midnight watching people dressed up in costume, taking pictures and all that. That was the times. Those were the times. Kids would never know.
It's true, man. They won't.
So yeah.
Well, cool, man. That's awesome. Well, Alex, I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man, and sharing
no problem.
These 25 films with us. And man. And please do, friends, if you're watching this, subscribe to his channel, which is now north of 4,000. And on Instagram as well. And so any other places they can find you? You got YouTube, Instagram?
Yes, I would just follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active.
Okay.
So, my Instagram is Marty__McFly21. That's where you can find me. That's where I post most of my stuff on what I'm doing for YouTube. So you can follow me on there.
And he has a very fascinating Instagram live that happens on a regular basis.
Yeah, check me out on Instagram live. I'll be at work.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again, man, for doing this. I really do appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Take care.
Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it too.
Well, man, I appreciate your content. Love watching it. And so I appreciate you saying yes to doing this and getting to be a part of it. So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Well, there you have it, friends. That's episode number 12 of the 5 with Alex Thomas. Please do check out his channel, subscribe, follow him over on Instagram. All that information is in the description below. Alex, thank you so much for having this conversation. I had a good time and really appreciate you taking the time to come on to the channel to do this. So thank you so much, friends. If you like this, we've got a bunch more episodes you can check out. We've got a bunch more on the way. And subscribe if you want more of this kind of content. And anyway, thank you so much for watching again. Please do take care of yourself. We'll see you next time.